let's take a look at the format system. Now, the format system is going to help you come up with a format for teaching what you have to teach. And what it states is that people want to know why, what, how, and what if. So let's go through each of these. First of all, you want to use this system for everything that you're going to teach. You can use it for the class in general when you begin it, but you also want to mention it for every technique that you teach, every new idea. You want to introduce it this way. This is a great way to organize things and to help you plan out what you're going to say about things. So when we talk about why, people want to know why they should learn a specific technique. It's really not good enough to just say, well, here's the next technique that you're going to learn in NLP, and enjoy, here we go. So it's much better to say, this technique is helpful if they've got a blockage with this, or if they've got two beliefs that are working against each other, or what have you. It's much more powerful if you explain to them why they should learn it before you actually get into it. Secondly is what. People want to know what they're going to learn. So before you show somebody how to do something, tell them what they're going to learn. And as you know, I like to explain things with a dry erase board, and when I do seminars in person, I often use PowerPoints because I want to show them what they're going to learn in as much detail as I feel necessary. Sometimes you want to go a little light on the detail in your drawings, because when people see a lot of stuff on a board, they sort of get confused. It's like when people have a business card, they try to put everything they've ever done in their lives on that business card and everything about them, and it becomes like a resume on a business card. People don't really want to see that. What they want to see is just, boom, this is what you do. NLP practitioner, okay, master practitioner, trainer, great. Put it on the card. And if you're an NLP trainer, all you have to do is say NLP trainer. That's it. You may be into Reiki or yoga or something else, that's fine. That goes on another card that gets handed out another day. Okay, but when you, I'm just telling you this for advertising, when you have something that you do that you want people to believe in you, you want to put that one thing on the card and go with it. Same way when you create a PowerPoint or write on the board. Keep it very simple and focused, because people, if they see too much stuff, they sort of tune out. So give details, but make sure they are concise details. So you're going to tell them what they're going to learn. You're also going to tell them how they're going to learn it. Now, this one is more geared toward when you're introducing the class overall. If you are especially advertising for your class, you want to go pretty heavily on the how. People want to know if it's going to be hands-on or if it's going to be like this, video correspondence. They want to know how they are going to get to where they want to be. What's the method by which you're going to take them there? Also, what if? People want to know things such as, what if I combine this with hypnosis, or what if I combine this with Reiki, or what if I combine this with psychotherapy? So if you're teaching something, this again, this what if is more important when you're advertising overall. People want to know if they can combine it with other things. What if I do this? What if I do that? Also, when you're doing demonstrations and teaching your students, people want to know sometimes, what if I change this? What if I, instead of touching them here, touch them here for an anchor? Will that make any difference? People oftentimes don't know this when they first get into NLP. They need to have it explained to them, and they'll have a lot of what if questions. So being conscious of the what if can be very helpful when you're demonstrating things. So keep in mind that when you do this, it really helps pull people to you. It really helps them relate to you more in your advertising. It helps them relate to you tremendously and literally will bring them in the door. But when you're teaching something, when you've already got them in the classroom, it helps them really feel that you know what you're talking about. And of course you do know what you're talking about, but your job is to convey that you know what you're talking about. So using the format system can really help tremendously. Okay, so if you mix in with this the VAK, and if you want, you can mix an OG, you don't have to, VAK, you want to make sure you hit those. You want to explain to them, for example, if I'm explaining how to install an anchor. Let's take something very basic in NLP. I'm explaining how to install an anchor, just a regular run-of-the-mill anchor for motivation. I'm going to touch here, and you think about something motivating, and you say the word motivation. So the touching here and saying the word motivation, that's the anchor once I've gotten myself in state. Okay, so I want to explain why we're going to learn that, and I want to use the VAK. So you want to make sure that you're explaining, starting out with that, why in the world would we learn this? So the way to do that would be, well, you're going to be seeing a lot of patients, and I want you to look forward to a time when the patient will come into your office with a lack of motivation. And I want you to see yourself helping that person and working with them using this. Also, when you talk about the visual sense, realize that, and when you're explaining why using the visual sense, realize that you can use illustrations if you want. Now, I have everything written on the board ahead of time and I just reference it, but if you want to draw things out, you can, that's fine. I like to have things organized ahead of time, and I prefer that you do that also, but you're going to do whatever you want to do, and that's fine. Make it your own way, but having something that at least you can point to and say, this is why, because according to the diagram, you're going to do such and such, and it's going to help with this and that. And you can have reasons listed why it would be beneficial. So talking more about the why, using the auditory sense, you can tell them that when patients come in your office and they say to you, hey, do you have a way to work with this? You can say, well, yes, I do. I have the ability to install an anchor. So that's more about the why using auditory. And kinesthetic, you're going to, when you're explaining why with kinesthetic, you're going to tell them that the patient's going to be able to live a more full life, for example. They're going to be able to do more things. They're going to be able to get out and do what they want to do. Now, using VAK with why is a little more challenging than using it with what, because when you get to what, you can easily involve all the senses. Well, what is this? This is what we're going to do. And I can demonstrate it visually, auditorily, and kinesthetically. I'm letting them see it. I'm actually moving. I'm doing it. I'm going to let them do it. They're hearing about it. So it gets a little easier. So when you explain things to people that you're going to teach them, it's best to use the format system, and on top of that, it's best to involve the VAK when you're doing that.